Hello, hello, hello. If you're watching this video, thank you for checking out a video from Hook, Fly, Sinker. We're out here today. Got the canoe all set up, ready to go on this beautiful lake here, which is very still this morning. So we're expecting some good things. Got the fly rod as always, fly or die. We're going to be doing some indicator fishing under some chironomid patterns. So hopefully we have a good day out here, catch some thick daddies. All right, so we just went out. Well, I just went out just a little bit, guys. Trailer's right there, so I just went just a little bit forward. I saw some fish activity, so we're just gonna test this area out really quick. So I just made a short cast, and I'm just assuming the distance. So I just quickly just put my indicator at like a certain depth and just kind of estimate it. So we're gonna make a couple casts out here, see if we get anything, and then I can always just move or adjust my depth based off what kind of happens here. So we got a fish right here. Fantastic first cast. All right, so I'm just guiding the fish now. All right, it's a nice little rainbow. You can see the way that indicator just dove under. Oh, my neck got kind of tangled. All right, so now I'm just bringing this fish in. All right, so I got him in, and when they jump like that, I always just let them jump, and I always try to keep them in the water. But I know they're gonna jump a lot the first time, and then if they pop out, it's gonna be a bad day. If they pop out with the indicator, so I'm just letting them calm down, keep trying to do my best to keep him in the water as much as possible. That way he survives. That way he's constantly getting oxygen from the water. All right, so now I'm just gonna let him swim off, and we'll come back for him in a couple months maybe. All right, so that was first cast, and checking out my fly still looking good. Originally I had on like kind of like a black ant, but I removed it just because the sun kept going, just was starting to come out, and it's here, it's a little cloudy, it's going back and forth, and I still like to stick to the bright fly, bright day kind of mindset. That always seems to work for me. So we got the second cast out here, and same thing, just letting it sink. I'm casting it the same direction as the wind is blowing, just because food blows that way, and you want to go the same direction as the food because that's where the fish will be going, in the same direction here. So cast it out, currently just letting it sink. And when I cast out, I always like to give it about 30 seconds before I impart any motion on the indicator and the fly. That allows it to sink down and get to that depth where I want it. And it seems like a good depth just by just like practice or whatever, just kind of gauging the distance based off just how the water is. As you can see, when water's in shallow water, it kind of looks a little bit more still, I guess for me is the best way to describe it. So I cast it out at least 30 seconds, and I'm just going to start to retrieve this fly. So I'm gonna give it a slow little hand twist. Just all I'm doing is pinching the line and wrapping my fingers around and just slowly moving it. It seems like a lot of movement, but you're barely just moving that fly. You got to think everything you do up here is kind of minimalized because it's in the water. So I'm just gonna continue doing that hand twist. I'm not getting anything. I'm gonna give it a couple little weird awkward strips like that just to make it look a little bit more appetizing and draw the attention of any trout that are in this lake here. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the hand twist here. The flies, the leader's almost here. So when I get here, just like with streamers, I always just give it a slow lift, because you never know, a fish could be seeing a nymph or whatever you're using, that chironomid pattern, just thinking like, oh, what is that? Is that food? Am I gonna bite it? Am I not? And by you lifting it just super slow, one, you're imparting motion, and two, you're not scaring that fly away, because you don't want to just rip it out the water, because you could always recast and get another opportunity to get that fish that was following that you might not even see. So now I'm casting in a different direction, because I cast it here twice and a little bit to the right the second time. So now I'm going to cast a hard left, and I do need to watch it, because just like this, you see that the line's starting to go. So I'm just going to lift up and move the line over. I'm trying to do my best to maintain straight contact between my, oh, I had a bite right there. Maintain, unfortunately my GoPro died while I was recording. I believe I was talking about maintaining a straight line between your fly and your fly rod, and we just got a fish. Holy crap. All right, look at that. Nice little rainbow. Got that right in the top of his mouth right there. All right. All right, looks like he just, all his flailing popped the fly out. Okay, so like I was saying, straight line contact between the fly and the fly rod. Ugh. All right, so the wind is kind of blowing that way, so of course you're going to cast in the same direction. It's pretty much a rinse and repeat cast. Wait about 30 to 40 seconds, and then yeah, impart some motion on a fly. Hopefully I can get a video of me just, you know, kind of either doing like a 6-second strip and then a bite, or maybe like 2 quick strips and a bite, or just kind of like a hand twist before you get a bite. But fortunately, at least we are able to get some catches out here, and hopefully we'll explore some more distance with some more spots here on this lake. So my indicator's this way and my fly line's this way, so I'm just gonna lift up and bring it over. That'll give the wind, because the wind is blowing in this direction, that should push my indicator back towards that direction and help me maintain a straight line connection. That way when a fish comes, I can just lift it up, because nothing's quicker than going straight, you know. So when you lift, if it's straight, it'll be quicker than if you're pulling line from the side, because it'll pull up like that versus just going like that. The easy way to think of it is just, if you want to reach a point right in front of you, it's easier to go this than go around. You know, just, it's the simple things that matter when you're fishing like this. So that's been sitting for at least 30 seconds. So I'm just going to go ahead, and hopefully this time I can actually demonstrate catching a fish with maybe a hand twist or a 6-inch strip, or maybe some erratic strips. So we'll start with just one large, about approximately 6-inch strip. Then after that, that lifts the fly up, so you give your fly time to come back down. It's like a woo sa. So now I gave it that. So now I'm gonna just give it some little strips, and then wait a little bit. I'm gonna give it 3 that time, and the third one I pull kind of hard, and that created kind of like a wake to impart movement and kind of let the fish notice some vibrations through the water, because fish notice those vibrations in the water. That's why when people do spin fishing, those like the meeps or meps or whatever, those spinning lures. That vibration in the water is what attracts the fish to them. Oh, just like that, the indicator went down. Just like that. All right. Oh, he got away. He's doing a lot of flinging. I just need to make sure. Yeah, it looks like he took the fly just because he was flailing so much. So I am going to pause the video here just so I can get another fly on the end. Sorry about that, guys or gals. I do apologize, but you know, things like that happen. So I'm just going to stop the video here. That way I can just get another fly on and hopefully catch some more trout out here. All right, so we do got a new fly on. All right, so I put on the new chironomid pattern, and I kept it in the same green color just because that green was having good success over here. But this one has a bead head, so it's a little bit heavier than that last pattern that I was utilizing. So that should help it get down in that area a little sooner. And still, it looks like the wind is being a little weird, blowing in different directions. But for the most part, it's still blowing kind of straight ahead of the direction that this canoe is pointing. The same thing, just letting it sink down, giving it about 30 to 40 seconds before I impart some motion. It is very important that that fly popped up, that that fish popped off and took the fly. I don't mind losing fish. I mean, everybody loses fish, and you know, it happens. But it sucks when you gotta lose flies, because flies sometimes could be they could range from 50 cents to like $7 a fly, really depending. But usually the streamers are the more expensive ones. All right, so I did let this fly sink down. It's been definitely about 40 seconds. So I am gonna start with a hand twist. I always like the hand twists, like the old faithful. I seem like my fly line's a little wrapped. Okay, so now I'm gonna just start with a nice little slow hand twist here. And I'm gonna do a nice little min really quick and move that fly line over. To do my best to maintain that straight line. So now I am gonna start with the hand twist here. Oh, fish on. Oh, that one's running. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big trout. Big trout, big trout. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I don't want to lose this. So I was just getting some babies. So I'm putting that side pressure on. I'm trying to get him to come this way. So he's running, and when he's running, I'm keeping that rod tip low. Oh, look at that. So he's running, he's running. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You don't, whoo, nothing beats that. Oh, come on. I'm letting him run. I don't want to lose him. Just maintaining pressure. And I want to keep him from behind the canoe, because I don't want to get him wrapped up in like the anchor, because I do have... So I'm not trying to let him go in the direction he wants to go, because he wants to go over there. It's where the water's kind of feeding in. And he tried to go under the canoe. Just trying to keep that pressure on him. Let it tire itself out. Oh, look at that. And it wasn't fast. I wasn't trying to just get him in immediately. I just let him run around and do his thing. Oh, that's a fat daddy. That's a thick daddy for this area. All right. All right. That's a beautiful fish right there. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice, nice rainbow. So back into the water it goes. Holy crap, he was jumping. That's beautiful. That's what you, when you're fishing, that's what you want. You want those big fish, and you want to get them in. It's something so upsetting, well, at least for me, about having like a nice fish on a line and you lose it. For me, it like sucks. It's like stubbing your toe in the corner of the bed. So once I removed that fly from the fish mouth, because that was a battle, I checked my fly, make sure it was still usable. It wasn't like messed up or anything like that, and I immediately got my next cast back out there using the same principles, letting it. So I got it out here. Now I'm just gonna let it sink for about 30 seconds, and then we'll rinse and repeat. That's all it is. And it's such a fun time because you can heave it. Sometimes you can just heave it, you know, if you're out here with somebody else, you just heave it and talk and drink, and you just, only thing you got to do is watch the indicator. Or, you know, you're like, oh, let me check out my indicator. Something you can give it a little twist, a couple hand twists, or whatever you want to do. So I didn't have a straight line, just because the sun's coming right down. I've been having a hard time seeing, so I just mended to try to maintain that straight line distance. And I'm still not getting a straight line, so I might have to give it. Oh man, had a fish. The indicator just dove under. And I was a little distracted, which happens. I mean, you know, we all miss fish, but I was a little bit distracted, which ended up on me losing that fish. But the most important thing is that you just take that, kind of go into a roll cast position, and get that fly back out there. And I think just because I have the last video I did streamers, this time I did an indicator setup. I think next time I'll see if I can, if we have a nice day, I'll see if I can do some dry fly fishing, which is absolutely my favorite. And it seems like in these lakes, the bigger dry fly patterns seem to work better here, just because a lot of times the water is cold. But when I originally started using indicators, I was using some like big bulky indicators, and it was not these airlock, it was some foam ones, and the fish would come up and bite my indicator, but they wouldn't bite my fly, because the only thing I saw was just that bright color, because I was using like a really bright green, I believe it was orange, and even like it was like pink, not like chartreuse or anything, but just like a bright pink. And the fish would come up and bite the indicators, but because that's what they saw, they wouldn't be focused on the chironomid or the nymph pattern that I had on the bottom. So I would just be watching fish come bite the indicator, and I'm like, you know, like, I got my fly down there, why don't you guys eat that? But I mean, it happens. So hopefully next video we can get a nice day. This day it's actually not bad for dries. Hopefully maybe tomorrow or within the next couple of days I'll have an opportunity to do some more fishing and record some more content. But if you have made it this far into the video, just know deep down I really do appreciate you spending this time and watching this channel. I recently got into fishing about 1 year ago. I was drinking with my buddy Kyle, and he was like, hey, you want to do some fishing? I'm like super drunk. I'm like, yeah, sure, man, of course. Miss another one. And I was like, yeah, of course. And then I came actually to this lake here. This is where it all started, just right there. Hopefully you can see that trailer when I started fishing, and I had some bites, but it was this one fish that I kept getting bites on, and I couldn't hook get it in. And ever since that day, that was probably, I think that was like 2 years ago, and from that date on I just been hooked on fishing. I just recently, I wouldn't say recently, but maybe like a year ago, I just started getting into fly fishing, and now it's fly fishing only, fly or die. Even this summer when I was flossing for salmon, I was just using a fly rod. End up snapping too, but when they're tossing super heavy weights and flies to try to catch a salmon, unfortunately, that's just part of the process. I do need to bring this fly in, so I'm gonna give it a medium pace hand twist. Just to bring this fly in. I just want to examine it because I saw that my tippet was kind of in like a just in a bundle, I would say. It's probably the best way to describe it. So I just want to bring it in, but I don't want to miss any opportunity to catch fish. So it's going to be a medium hand twist in. Just, I don't want to scare off any potential fish if they are looking at my chironomid pattern. So when I check this, I can easily recast, and I don't have to think about possibly changing out the flies. All right, so I got this in. I'm almost up to my leader. So now I'm just going to lift this. I'll lift it at a decent pace just because I just want to see. It was a little twisted, and that resulted in it not going down to its actual depth. I might have done a pretty tight cast, like a tight loop when I was casting, but it happens, you know, like when you practice something, it's kind of hard to do something a little bit different with the same concept, because, you know, when you're casting dry flies, you really want that tight loop. So sometimes when I'm casting this heavy indicator with this fly line, you know, I go to just out of instinct cast a tight loop, and sometimes I do run into issues, but that was just one minor issue today. When you cast a really tight loop, that thing can get tangled, especially when you're using like a really long line. But my line really isn't that long today. I would consider this like a medium length. It's probably like less than 20 after changing out the fly. So all right, so this has been down for about 30 seconds. Oh, got a fish on just like that. Oh, look at that, it's a big one too. So while he's jumping like that, I'm keeping my rod tip low. He's taking line, I'm letting him take line, and he's going this way, so I'm gonna switch to the other side. If he's going left, I'm going right. He's going down, so I'm going up. He's going right, so I'm going left. I'm bringing him up because he's trying to dive deep. Now I see him right under me. So he's trying to go right, so I knew he's going to jump. So I'm keeping my rod tip to the left here. Oh, I had to give him some line. I felt like he was about to pop off. So I'm trying to bring him to the surface. I got a lot of extra fly line out, so I need to get this in. So it was like right under my feet. All right, so he popped off. Fuck me, man. And then check this out, make sure my fly is still on. Yeah, fly is still on. Unfortunate. But I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happens. I felt the fly kind of with those constant jumps. I felt the fly starting to come out, and you can kind of just feel it, like when you know that flies has the potential to pop out, and I felt it. So I was trying to not put too much pressure on him. I just wanted him to, or it to, kind of run around, and he ended up still popping off. But I had, deep down, I knew that was going to happen, because I felt, you can kind of feel when they start to shake, you feel the fly unseat a little bit. You don't feel as much pressure. bite. Hello, nibble. Boom, got it. This thing is fighting. I can see it too. It's a pretty decent size. It might be that same fish. It's getting that side pressure. Oh, look at that. No, he's not ready to come in yet. I'm not rushing it. I'm just keeping tension on the line, keeping them off balance. Just bring it to the surface. All right, look at that. I'm just gonna get them in here. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. It's a beautiful rainbow right there. All right. Fat. That's a fat daddy right there. Yeah, that's definitely a fat daddy. All right. All right, guys, I caught me a decent amount of fish today, and I do want to thank you. Look at that. And I do want to thank you for tuning in to Hook, Fly, Sinker. We'll see you next time. Have a lovely day. You deserve it. All right, he's off.